what are you new to the political system? Or?
Well, much like Amanda, I've always been interested in politics, but in recent years really become aware of how important it is to get involved on the state and local level. Presidential elections will come and go, but I think it's important to really start to build a base and to really start to support local candidates here, and really to start to take advantage, I think, of a lot of enthusiasm around this presidential race this year. A lot of strong candidates. I don't want to see the party lose that momentum after February 9th. I'd really like to be part of starting something bigger.
I think that's a really important point that we as Democrats want to emphasize, and that is the sense of building community through the caucus process. But in general, this is a time where I feel that a lot of people in the United States want to see change, and this is a good time to get involved. Howard, what are some of the things that have brought you into this process?
One, I'm generally curious.
Good.
But I have been a Democrat all of my life. But also, I took 5 of the questionnaires that are on the internet. One on the USA Today site, another one on Washington Post, and another one, a couple of others. And I was surprised at the way my scores turned out. They ask a number of questions dealing with, and then give the answers that the candidates have given. And then you pick the one which is closest to you. And I came up with kind of, in one sense, a surprise in terms of each of the 5. But 4 of the 5 were the same. And then because of that, I saw the announcement for the caucus, and I have not been actively involved in the Democratic Party, and I was curious as to what it was going to be like, so I went to the training. And when I learned that there was going to be a mass group in our area, I live in an apartment complex, and so we're using the clubhouse as the precinct meeting place for our caucus, and that's in the apartment complex where I live. So I thought that would be better to get to know people in the neighborhood than going to where there's going to be 12 or 13 different caucuses all at once.
Very good, very good. So you're really motivated to go and get to know your neighbors and see where they're coming from, and
yes.
and working from that basis. So was there for any of you a single situation or issue, or what has motivated you to get so involved at this point? We'll start with Howard.
We need leadership that is willing to be consistent with the kind of issues or values, I would say, that are reflected in the Constitution, which begins with we the people, not we the corporation, is one of the big ones. And then the issues there in terms of justice, of concern for domestic tranquility as well as domestic protection, and the well-being of all of our citizens. And the present administration, and we've had a number of years in which that has not been the focus. So I'm looking for those people who provide leadership and move us from an environment dominated by fear to one that looks at the possibilities of the citizens of this country.
It's a very positive message. I very much appreciate that. Amanda, what has motivated you to get so involved?
With the caucus, it was more along the lines of there was a sign-up sheet, and I signed up because I thought it sounded like something I could do and I'd be interested in joining with. With the party in general, it was just how I was raised, and I respect the viewpoints of it, and I feel it suits how I am personally, and I wish to get out of the culture we're in currently, which is very based on corporation and commercialism, very much based on a society of fear, as Howard has mentioned. I'm of a generation where we're seeing a lot of people my age who are going off to the Middle East and not coming home, or coming home with mental illness induced by trauma. And I think I'd like to see us get out of that situation before we see it deteriorate further.
Chris?
Oh, very much in the same vein as Howard and Amanda. I see the country going in the wrong direction, and towards the end of last year, I'm fairly new to this too, I began to see the stark contrast between the two parties and the tenor of the two presidential debates. On the Republican side, like Amanda said, so much the fear-mongering, so much the focus on terrorism and on the war and on continuing the mistakes of the past administration, whereas Democrats are talking about solutions, talking about how to provide health care for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that debate is the one that I want to participate in. That's the one that I see, moving our country forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt this was a good time just to put some actions behind my words and to get involved.
I like that, actions behind our words.